Can you see me? If you can see me and hear me, would you kindly let me know that you can see me and you can hear me? We've been having a lot of vibration in the background. Um, can you see me? Can you hear me? I'm hoping that you can. Please, I would like you to let me know if you can see me or hear me. Because we've been having some challenges going live this afternoon. Am I live finally? On Facebook especially. Can you see me? Instagram, can you see me? Sorry, YouTube. If you're on YouTube, can you see me? Can you hear me? I would like that feedback very well because we're having some challenges with network. Please let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. It will help me move on. It will help me go on with this session. Please, I'll need some feedback if you can see or hear me. I will need to know this. Good. Thank you very much, Gold. You can see me, you can hear me. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Skill Up Show. I am so sorry we've had network issues this afternoon, but hey, we're here. Good afternoon and welcome to this live broadcast. My name is Maribel Chima. I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. I'm the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle with CAMC. How are you guys doing? How is everyone doing? We've missed the Skill Up show for a week or so. Last week we weren't here. So the Skill Up show is that show where we come and talk about skills. We introduce specific skills that we can introduce into our home for the week, and we can work with that skill. We can work with that with our children on that skill for the entire week and see how it goes. All right, so welcome to this show. Today, if you're here right now and you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, why don't you go ahead and do that straight up? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you click on the notify button or notification button. So whenever we go live, you are notified immediately, and you can be a part of the amazingness or the awesomeness that we bring to your screen. If you are on Facebook and you have a friend who needs to be here, you're catching the replay, go ahead and invite your friend. Oh my goodness, I really need to know on Facebook if I am live because I can't see Jack. All right, if you're on Facebook and you know you have a friend who needs to be here, you don't even have to watch halfway, just call them immediately. They will be blessed by this session. All right, so today we're looking at how we can introduce financial knowledge to the kids, to our children in the first 10 years of their lives. Why are we even talking about financial knowledge? That's what somebody will be asking out there. These are children. What business do they have with money and finances? Why should they even bother about these things? Is their only job not to eat and go to school and do well in school? So I want to ask at the end, to what end? They go to school, they do well in school, so that what will happen? All right? So that what will happen? Our children go to school from ages what? 3, 5, 6. Okay, and they do this till they're about what? 17, 18, thereabouts, if they go at the right pace. Then what? Okay, then what? When you ask parents this question, they will tell you, if they're typical Nigerian parents, then they will tell you, oh yeah, then they go to the university. So they go to the university, and then what? Then they study whatever they want to study, and then what? Then they go for NYSC, and then what? Typical Nigerian or African, and then they get a good job, and then what? So that they can earn money, and then what? So that they can have a family that they can spend the money on, and they can buy houses, and they can buy cars with money, and they can. So at the end of the day, a typical African parent thinks that the child needs to go to school so that one day the child would earn money that the child would use and buy, get, buy, get, take care, and all of that. And this same typical African parent thinks that you are wrong, or that you are not in line, or you're not thinking right when you say this same child that his I mean, the biggest ambition we have for them is to grow up so that they can get good jobs, or they can become politicians, or they can, get that perfect place where they can earn money and they can take care of themselves and they can take care of their families and they can buy some more and buy some more, because on the average, a typical African parent or a typical African person thinks that to live a good life, or to live a good life, or to succeed, or to turn out well, is that you're able to get all of these things that money can get, basically. All right. So when parents argue with me or they tell me about why they're learning financial knowledge, I smile and I say to them, your children should learn financial knowledge. They should get financial knowledge more than any child in any part of the world. Because if we were to go by what your objectives and your objectives and your goals are for these children, then they should learn about money from the day they are born. But anyway, that's by the way. All right. That's by the way, it's not all about money. Hello, coach. Good afternoon, Ebube. All right, welcome, Gold. Okay, so if we are raising human beings, we are raising people who are going to grow someday. If we're raising people who at some point in their lives will need to create wealth, will need to impact the world, and will need to grow influence, then we cannot raise this kind of people without teaching them the value or making them aware of financial knowledge, or teaching them the value of money and the value of wealth. So if you are raising a child who will create wealth, you're raising a child who is going to impact the world and make a difference in the world, and you're raising a child who is going to influence the world and be influential by way of leadership, or by way of leadership, or by way of leadership as a result of the impact or the influence that they have, then you cannot raise this kind of children without teaching them the proper knowledge, okay, about money, or giving them knowledge, or the knowledge. Sorry, my daughter is here. What's this? So I was here all this while you didn't talk until I started the session. Go and have it. Sorry about that. All right. I think my 7-year-old just enjoys coming here every time I'm in a session. I will soon create a rule about that soon. All right. Sorry about this. All right. All right. So if you're going to raise this kind of children, okay, that will create impact, that will create wealth, creating jobs for people, creating all of these amazing things that can make the world, make a huge difference in the world, that can be a leader that can influence people, a leader that can influence change and policies and all of that, then no way are you going to raise this kind of child without giving them financial knowledge, or making them become financially aware, the knowledge of wealth and the real mindset behind wealth. So yes, we are not out of place if we say your children from day one should learn about financial knowledge. It's not out of place at all. It's not out of place at all. Now, first thing first, you need to understand as a parent is your beliefs around money, okay? Your beliefs around wealth, your mindset, your financial status, right? Your mindset, your financial status, or let's say your financial, let's leave it at financial status, right? So your financial status, your beliefs around money and wealth, your mindset, the financial mindset or money mindset that you have, your values as a person or as a family, and the way you interact with money as a person or as a family is all going to come together to influence the mindset that your child has about money, or the way that your child thinks about money. Okay, now this financial mindset is what will grow, or what you can be intentional about or deliberate about, to the point that you as a family or as a parent can create what we like to think of as a financial blueprints. Now, by the time you come to the stage that you are conscious enough, which is where we want you to get to, the point where you are conscious enough to create an intentional financial blueprint because you understand the need for the right financial knowledge. And then when we say your children should have financial knowledge, we are not even saying that your children at 3 and 4 years old, 4 year olds should start thinking of how they want to start businesses. Who is talking about that? Okay. We're not saying your 3 and 4 year olds should be thinking about money from one. No, we're not saying that. We're saying what is the mindset and what are the simple money habits that your children have even while they are 0 to 10 years old. Now, some of us who also argue, who go on and on arguing about having this money argument, okay, how children should not be introduced to money and all of that. We are the ones that are children. More than any other person, our children know how to stare into the eyes of that uncle and that auntie when they come to the house and they're about to leave. You are staring and you're hanging around because you want them to dash you money. Yes, these are the people that say don't teach them about money. So it's okay that your children understand money from a beggarly point of view. It's okay that your children understand money from asking point of view. It's okay that your children walk into the store or the supermarket with you and all they are doing is placing financial demands on you. I want that toy. I want this one. I want that one. It's okay. Oh, I want pizza. Oh, it's okay. The other day, yes, just a few days ago, I was with a few of my friends, some of my inner circle friends, and we had the kids with us and all of that. And some of the kids were telling us about their friends that have iPhone. I don't even know the latest iPhones. I mean, I was there listening and people are actually telling me they're 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds who have phones that are worth 1-point-something million naira. And these same parents will come and stand in front of me and say to me, oh, let them focus on school. Why are we teaching them financial? Let them focus on school. Till when? Let them focus on school until they go to second university and they keep asking you for 2K. They are calling you for 2K every day. They are calling you for the money that they will use to buy Valentine gifts for their girlfriend. Yeah, it's okay. Let them. I mean, that's them holding the biggest iPhones worth millions of naira and calling you for 2K. Yes, you say the person that wants to teach, that should teach the child simple financial habits is wrong. And it is those of us who hand them all kinds of good things as opposed to the things that are important were the ones that are on track. Oh, so every time we think something has to be, we just don't like structure. I think that's what the problem is in this part of the world. We just don't like structure. We don't like anything that seems like an effort, right? We don't want anything that seems like an effort, anything that seems like you are planning. We hate to plan as a people. Yes, even at the government level, we hate to plan as a people. That's why the budget of a country will come when the year is halfway gone. 6 months, 7 months into the year. That's when the budget that should determine your spending on the first day of the year is coming 120 something days down the line and all of that. So generally, as a people, we just do not like anything that seems like structure. Good morning, Chidima. All right, welcome, ma'am. We want it quick, exactly. So we don't want structure. We don't want. So if they say, oh, let's teach the children, no, we don't want. We just want to hand them the iPhones and hand them the whatever. Let them look good in front of our friends. Let them look. I mean, and I know I was hearing how it comes. I mean, how the whole big iPhone thing even comes from. The children come back from school and then they talk about how all of their friends have phones and they don't have phones. And so they put you under pressure. So you are in the first pressure to provide them with phones because all their friends have. Oh, you don't want them to have a complex. Everybody in the class, they will laugh at them and all of that, like that. They will laugh at them and all of that. And then we now move from they will laugh at them to, oh, everybody has this certain kind of phone and only my child is using a small Android. And so you put yourself on the next set of pressure. Yes. You come and you argue. Why should we teach them financial knowledge? They should focus on school. And your children focus on school with the iPhones. You better go and check again if they are really focused on school. Okay? So right, basically, we need to major the majors and leave the minors away. So yes, our children, all I'm trying to say here is these children need to know, they need to have financial knowledge. It is not even one of those things to gamble about. We have so many things that are important that we tend to minor while we major the important things that are not important. All right, have we stayed away from the Skill Up show so much that people cannot remember that we have this show anymore? If you're on Facebook and you have someone who needs to be here, a friend who needs to be tagged, I think you should go ahead and tag them. I can't even tag everyone in this post. Why is that so? All right, I don't know why it is so, but let's see. Okay, if you have a friend that needs to be here, it's just nicer when people are getting the gist hot as it is. I know later now 200 300 people will catch the replay, but how about we showing up here at the right time so that we can catch it live, right? Yes. Okay, so yes, it's very important that this financial knowledge are in place. Okay, now there are certain habits, right? There are certain habits of successful people that we neglect, and that's the truth. Okay, one of them is financial knowledge. All right, the other one is making our children lifelong learners and things like that. I'm just trying to point out certain things that are principles, right, for success that we tend to neglect, and then we focus on the things that are not important. One of them is raising children who enjoy learning for life. We take our children are learning, and we know that sometimes a lot of things that they are learning or what it is, they are not even getting the best. Some of our children come, they complain about so many things, and we don't even bother. We just say to them, do it because you have to do it. We don't try to find out, and make sure that this learner is enjoying this learning. Okay, so this is how we focus on the things that are not major as opposed to the things that are major. We send them to schools that they don't like to be in. We send them to schools where they are struggling. We put them in situations where these children are struggling really, really hard. Okay, and yet we don't want to look into this because we want to major the minor and minor the major. We want them to be in a certain place that we think is right for them. That will probably not be right for them. Okay, we want them to do certain things that we think is right for them. That is not necessarily right for them. All right, so it's very important that our children get financial knowledge. I hope that I've been able to convince you about this one. But as we go on, we will learn more about why our children need financial knowledge, especially right from when they are young children. I've been talking a lot. The whole of the last month and the beginning of this month, I kept on talking about the sensitive period for learning in our children. In fact, we have that course. This course is still ongoing. The challenge, sensitive period, the challenge for using 10 times or the 10 times learn more through play techniques to teach your children so that they can learn and be motivated, meaning they enjoy learning and so they can motivate themselves to learn some more. That challenge is still going on right now. That challenge, we go into that challenge with just 3,500 naira so that we can measure the things that are major. It's a whole 21 days. 21 whole days, and we've not even gone halfway. Each day, the parents are getting ways that they can introduce learning, especially at the right time. So yes, financial knowledge should also be taught at the right time. If we introduce financial knowledge early, just like many other sensitive period for learning, just like many other things that our children start learning early and they're able to practice over and over again, building muscles in that area of their life, our children will understand the principles behind money and the principles behind wealth creation. So our children can have the right mindset when it comes to money. So this is very, very important. And that's what we are talking about in this class. Know this, parents, that wealth is not so much of the presence of cash in our hands as it is the mindset. Should I repeat that? Wealth is not so much of the presence of cash in our hands, liquid cash or whatever it is that you call cash. It's not so much of it as it is the mindset. It is in the mindset. The wealth is in the mindset. When the mindset is around wealth and wealth creation is right, then it is easy to find out the principles. And when you crack the code, you will create wealth over and over and over again. Now I am talking to you here. Is it because I've cracked all the codes and I'm wealthy? Oh no, it's not that. It's because I know now what the people who raised me didn't know when I was 6, 7, 8, and 10. So yes, I may not have been able to crack all the codes that I need to be as wealthy as I want to be. But hey, I can raise a child. I can raise a child and point the child, because principles do not lie. Facts do not lie. When you get the principles right, these things will fall in place when the mindset is right. Now, if I didn't have a mindset is not a fixed thing. That's why we all need to have growth mindset. So the mindset that I had about money or about a lot of things 10 years ago, I have had like a whole 360 turn around when it comes to my mindset. In fact, I went on a journey of reparenting and regrowth totally, such that it affected every single, and I'm not saying just parenting, it affected every single area of my life. Career, mindset about work, mindset about job, mindset about marriage, about friendship, about every single thing. So the mindset is not a fixed thing, okay? It is something that you can recreate, you can learn, you can unlearn, and you can relearn. And all of this has to be done intentionally. And then you go on that journey. It won't happen in one day or in 2 days, because hey, you're coming. I am coming from a journey of almost 40. I mean, at the time, I was coming from a journey of over 30 years. So yes, about 30 years at the time. So no, I'm not going to change what I've known for 40 years in one day or 1 week. But hey, I have committed to the journey, and I am making effort towards that journey every day. And that's what you need to understand, so that we stop saying when we see people trying to teach, certain principles, because they've learned and they have, recalibrated their brains, or, they have changed their mindset. Okay. And then we start saying, oh, what did you do when you were 10? I didn't do nothing when I was 10, because the people who raised me didn't know what they should do. But I know better. And so I'm going to raise some other person better, so that person can step into a space that I couldn't step into. And I know and I understand that these things are better done during the window period for certain things, that period where the child can learn that thing in the finest way, in the most effective way, in the most authentic way, with the least effort. At that point, learning is almost unconscious, and yet it is in its finest and most authentic stage. So yes, your financial knowledge should happen as early as possible. And that's why we're looking at 0 to 10 years old today. I said a few minutes ago that wealth is not so much of the presence of cash in your hands as it is the mindset. Okay? Now, a financial blueprint, as I was saying, is, the mindset that you have created, how you relate to money, how you interact with money, okay, how what your beliefs are around money, what your values are. They say what you place, the places where you give your time and your money determines what you value in life. So what are your values as a family? As a family, are you that family that thinks the highest bidder is the best person? Are you that family that would say something is wrong until it affects a family member or a loved one? I've been in gatherings with people where you're talking about, probably you're talking about the government, and you're talking about things that are wrong, and you hear people say, I beg, it is our turn now, meaning you have a loved one or a relative that all of a sudden is in that position. And so what the person says, I beg, it's our turn now. Let him chop. It is our turn. Now, is this the mindset that you have? Is this the kind of conversation that goes on in your home, in the presence of your children? I've been with a child once, a child that his parents are political, like from political family and all of that. And we were talking from nowhere, because usually I don't ask children, what do you want to be? I've never asked my children, what do you want to be in the future? It's more like, what kind of human being do you want to be? Okay, the what will fall in place when you find out the who. Okay, so I was having a session with him, and then he just from nowhere busted and told me, Miss Mary Bright, when I grow up, I'm going to be a governor. Like, he just went straight. When I grow up, I'm going to be a governor. I'm like, fantastic. Like, fantastic. Like, that's ambitious, and that's sure. The confidence with which he said it. And I was, so why would you want to be a governor and all of that? He said, because I want many cars and I'm going to be rich. Like, it's as simple as that. He said, because I want many cars and I want to be very rich. So there goes a child who thinks that. There goes a child that thinks, his mindset around money or about money or wealth is that he needs to be a politician. So when you are a politician, you will automatically have lots of cars and you will be rich, because, hey, this is what he has seen, or this is what he has gathered, or what's his understanding. Okay, probably something he created on his own, because nobody thought that he needed to be taught. Nobody thought he needed to be given the right orientation. Nobody thought that it was important. And so this is my 6-year-old, or this is a 6-year-old who thinks that he's going to be a governor someday, not because the people like him, not because the people love him, not because he wants to create solutions, not because he wants to solve problems, not because he wants to do anything, but because he wants to have lots of money and he wants to have lots of cars. All right, so what is your financial blueprint? How do you interact with money? Who do your children, or what do your children see? What do your children think about wealth from your life and the way that you interact with money? All right. So we said your values, your mindset, and even your education is going to determine how you see money. Okay? It was Harvey Hecker that said in his book, The Secret of the Millionaire Mindset. Harvey talked about how he had ventured into businesses. He came out of school and all of that, and he had ventured into businesses, and he was, trying to, have that big break and all of that. He tried many things, they failed and all of that. And he talked to his father at some point. He had a conversation, and the father said to him, okay, I think you're serious, and so I'm going to introduce you to a friend. So the father introduced him to his friend. Okay, and after having conversations with his father's friend and all of that, his father's friend said to him, if you are not doing as well as you would like to, it means that there is something you don't know. His father's friend told him, you have ventured into business and all of that, and you're not doing as well as you want to. Now, if you're not doing as well as you want to, it means that there is something that you don't know yet. End of mindset. It is not because village people are after you. It is not because people don't like you. It is not even if it's that people don't like you. There has to be a reason behind it. It's not because your village people, okay, handpick waving, exact. So it's not because your village people don't like you. It's not because, it's not any of those drama. It's not because you've not prayed enough. It's not because it's not anything. There is something you do not know yet. So what does it mean? It means simply you have to seek that which you don't know yet about business, or what you don't know yet about being an entrepreneur, or what you don't know yet about running a business. When you eventually crack that code, you will get where you want to be, or you will get what you want. It is a reason that Elon Musk will say, take everything that I own, take everything that, every business and everything that I own today, drop me in a desert and I will still be wealthy. Simple. He knows something. And with what he knows that he has cracked that code. And so he would use it over and over and over and over again. I have someone that I know that talks confidently this way too. She would say to you, as it is, no matter what, I will make money. So we need to get to that point. It's a mindset thing. The moment the mindset is right, then the child is ready to run. All right? The child is ready to run. Okay? So what he learned, what have Eckhart learned, right, is that he learned that the mind can be a person's biggest stumbling block to success. So if your mind is not right, if the child's mind is not right from the word go, if the child's mind is not right early, then that alone can be a stumbling block to their success in life. So the question you want to ask yourself, or the questions you want to start asking yourself as a parent today is, who am I raising my child to be? I did not say what am I raising. So that you come here and you say, I want them to be a doctor, they're going to be a lawyer. I didn't ask you those questions. Yeah? What kind of human being are you raising your child to be? So, what beliefs and mindset do you want to create for this child about money? How do you want your child to see money? And do you want your child to see money as something that happens to the coolest people? Do you want your child to see money as something that happens to the most beautiful girls? I was asking somebody yesterday, some of my friends yesterday, I was with my friends yesterday, and I asked them, okay, anyway, let me not go into calling tribes now before anybody would come for me. So let's leave that. So I asked my friends who happens to be, from a particular tribe. I said to them, what is the mindset? What mindset? What do they say to you guys about marriage? As in, what do they say to the average young lady from this part of, this country or the world? What do they say to you about, marriage and what marriage is supposed to mean and what access marriage is supposed to give you? Because the mindset is everything. And so when you see certain things repeating itself over and over again, then you know there is a mindset, some sort of a fixed mindset around that thing. So how your child is going to view money and view the financial knowledge your child is going to have, and how your child is going to view wealth and all of that is going to be dependent on what it is that you have created or you have given them access to. All right? So very, very important. There was a time I learned of someone that is, that is close enough, and how the person was in a relationship with a guy that was highly, highly compromised. And so eventually when everything turned sour and all of that, I was asking questions, and they told me, the parents had an idea. Like the parent had an idea that this person was that compromised as a person. The parents had an idea that this person was this kind of person, and it was okay for them. It was okay at the time for them, because at the time, all they were looking at was the benefit that thing was going to give their child. So what are your values as a family, especially when it affects, when it's in the area of, money and wealth and all of that? All right. So if we're able to ask ourselves these questions, the questions that I've just listed here. Okay, did I finish asking those questions? I said, what beliefs about money do you have? What are your children's money habits? What are your children's money habits? It is said that by the time a child is about 7 years old, the child's money habit is already formed. Yes. That the time a child is 7 years old, their habits around money, their mindset, their thinking about money is already set by the time they are 7. So if this is what the experts say, then you are saying, your child is too young. Your child should be focusing on what I don't know you are focusing on, because I don't know. Every time we say focus on schoolwork, I don't know what we call schoolwork. Focus on education. I don't know what we call education, because all of these things we're talking about is all what these are the things that make up what education is or what education should be. Sadly, we don't have, financial knowledge in our curriculum in school. Something I still cannot understand. Okay, whatever it is that we have, in many cases, really very basic, and it doesn't, teach so much about, your everyday interaction with money in real life, real terms. Okay, so what are these mindsets that you are creating for your child? All right, the next question you want to ask is, how confident is your child? Yes, your child. How confident is your child? How confident is your child around confident about themselves they are? How confident about themselves and the things that they do? Do your children believe in themselves? Do your children believe in the things that they do? Do they believe in the work that they put out there? Do they believe in their own abilities? Very, very key. Okay. How does your child relate with other people? Because your child's social behavior, your child's social awareness, social behavior, social quotient, whatever you want to call it, is going to be a huge determinant of how successful they would be. I was talking to my son this morning, and during our morning chit chat, and I said to him, you cannot build anything without people. You cannot succeed without people. We were created to live in communities. We were created for collaboration. We were created, right? We were created for collaboration. We were created to live in communities. So you cannot be successful. You cannot do as much when you are by yourself as you would do when you are in communities and you are in collaboration with other people. So yes, you can't, okay, your children need to build social connections, and they need to learn how to build their social quotient, so that yes, they can use this, or this is important when you are teaching them about the money or the right money blueprint. Very, very key. Or financial knowledge, or financial awareness, very, very key. And then lastly, how does your child trust others? How well does your child trust other people? Are you that parent that is constantly telling your children, don't trust anybody? Don't trust even your friend. Don't trust your husband. Don't trust your wife. When you marry a woman, hide everything, bring everything, let us hide it for you. When you marry a husband, don't tell him all. Oh. So some of us raise children who trust nobody. We make them feel like we are the only ones that they can trust. Somewhere it's because we are entitled in ourselves. Because somehow you're entitled and you have told yourself, you are going to live in this life forever. So if your child does not have you to trust, your child will end up passing through this life trusting nobody. So your child is meant to be a loner, because you have raised them to trust nobody. Because for some reason you had an experience that you have decided, because you are God, to project on your child, and then mess yourself and mess the child up, because you have an experience. And because you are Odogu, you are the most important person in this world. Since you have had that experience, every other person should not be allowed to experience life and get their own experiences. They are supposed to live with your own experience forever. So that's why you are raising children and you are teaching them from day one. Oh, you can't trust anybody. Oh, you can't trust friends. Friends can do this to you. Hey, that's a neighbor. You can't trust them. That's a colleague at work. You can't trust them. Your husband, hide half of it from him. Your wife, will everything to me. So all of these things, so how does it make for financial success, or how does it make for, the right mindset, how are your children going to, build on the social, on the social currency? Basically, how they're going to use their social currency if you're here raising them. Okay, how are they going to trust people? How are they going to build loyal people? Or how are they going to develop loyalty and be loyal to other people when you have raised them to think that everybody is not trustworthy? No wonder they can't even put themselves in a position where other people can trust them. Because if you're raising a child and telling the child nobody is trustworthy, you are automatically telling the child you shouldn't put yourself in a place where other people can trust you. Because it's not possible that it's only you and your child that are the trustworthy people in the entire world, since every other person is not worthy of trust. So we need to ask ourselves those questions. Okay, as parents, ask yourself these questions, and I need you to also know this. Okay, in addition to all that I have said before, I need you to know this, that as we are in the outer part, okay, like, how do I put it now? Okay, how do I put it? So this way, as there are outer laws, right? As there are outer laws and principles to creating wealth and understanding how money works, so are there internal principles, right, that we need to know and understand in order for us to be able to, have the right mindset, create wealth, and all of that. So yes, there are principles. There are principles, outside, right? There are principles. There are things you need to know. There are things you need to do. Go and sit down. If you know any wealthy person, if you ever get an audience, if you ever get audience with the Otedolas, the Dangotes of this world, the Bill Gates and all of that, if you sit down with them, you would realize that there is a way that wealthy people think. There is a mindset behind wealth. And if you care to read books written by these people, you would realize that there is a way that these people think. Okay, so if there are principles on the outside to creating wealth, then there are principles on the inside to creating wealth. Now you need to tap into those principles, and you need to teach your children those principles. And we said it begins with their mindset. And this is what we're going to be doing. So for 2 years, we have run the Raising a Financially Smart Child course. For 3 years, we've run that course. So what we did in the past is, when we run the course for parents. Okay, we want to help parents change their mindset so that they're able to teach their children, the right mindset and all of that. But what we've realized is, since we started working with the children in the mastermind and all of that, we realized that there is actually so much that we can do with the children themselves. So we can get the children on that screen, and we are working on this mindset and more with these children. So we have tweaked that course to attend to the need of the child 80% and only 20% to the need of the parents. So in that course that we will be launching in the next few days, today or tomorrow, we will be launching the Raising Financially Smart Children course. In that course, we are going to be working with your children, all right, for 4 straight days. We'll be working with your children, and the curriculum is massive. Okay, we can't even finish everything we want to do with the children. It's such that every child who enrolls for the course will be given a 2 weeks accountability. In that period of 2 weeks, the child will have to attempt a project that has to do with the 3 financial goals that the child is going to create during the period of this course. Okay, we will make the child set 3 financial goals, and we did not say he's going to open a company in 4 days. We did not say your child is going to start a business in 4 days. Your child is going to create 3 goals that is centered around financial habits, the right financial habits, the right financial sense, the right identification of, the things that they love. We would basically set your child on a track where your child would start having the right mindset, and then your child is ready to put their hands to the plow. If you know me by now, if you're taking any of my courses, or if you're into any of the things that I do, you will know that for us, our modus operandi is instruction, hands-on learning. So we do instruction, we create opportunity to put your hands to the plow. So it's hands-on learning. That is self-direction. When we work with children, we do not do everything for the children. The children must self-direct. And then finally, we are there 120% to give them the accountability that they need to believe in themselves, to trust in themselves, and to push themselves, of course, and become intrinsically motivated. All right. So this is what is going to be happening in this course that we're going to be giving the children, that we're going to launch in the next few days. Today or tomorrow, we're going to launch that course, and you can register your child to take that course. The course is going to happen in May. Okay. So you can register for the course from now till May. It's just that the price will not be the same after the first week, the second week, and all of that. So, but then you have the opportunity to help your child start building and creating the right mindset. Okay. And then, of course, we're going to have our parents roundtable. Okay. During our parents roundtable, I'm going to have you some experts, like financial experts in that panel. You know how we do it. Okay. And in that panel, we will scatter every table that there is to scatter, so that by the time you are done, you will pick your pen, you will pick your bag, you will pick your toolbox, and you will get to work helping your child create the right mindset and having your child begin to soar in this area of their life. Very, very key. All right. So now I'm going to just run you through what we call the PTM launch framework for 0 to 10-year-olds. Okay, so what we have done in PTM, okay, and this is the framework that I use for my children. Okay, my son is 13 and my son has run a business. Not kidding you. My son is 13 and he has run a business for 4 straight years. 4 straight years. He has run a business, like a business where he showed up for that business every day for 4 straight years. Yes. My 13-year-old has run a business where he showed up. And if you know why I'm emphasizing show up, show up, show up, it's because showing up is an important aspect of every area of our life, of success in every area of our life. Consistency is something. So having to stay in a business, even for an adult for 4 straight years, showing up daily, showing up every day, putting out something there every day for 4 straight years, it's not an easy feat. Now, for a child to show up this way, so he has shown up in that business for 4 straight years. He has grown in that business. He has had to do different things within that business. In this 4 years, there was a time in that business when all he did was have his weekly sessions with me, wash oranges, and peel the oranges with the manual peeler. There was a time that we moved from that to peeling the oranges with the machine. That was his task. There was a time he moved to calling his suppliers and, placing the orders for his produce to come, for his products to come and all of that. So he moved from that to a time where he had to work 3 times a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and be a part of the production, right? He had to be a part of the production for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for 30 minutes on Thursday, and then 1 hour Friday and Saturday to be a part of the production. Of course, sales is 100% him. I don't want to tell you the lessons that he has learned in these 4 years, how he's able to walk to any group of people, any kind of person, and ask you if you would like his product, how he's been able to learn how to convince people to buy his product, how he's been able to grow in creating his own Excel sheet and doing his account every day, every weekend. How he's been able to grow to an accountability partner where he has to run his business. He has to run his business and then at the end of the month, submit his account for auditioning, basically in this accountability process. How he's been able to set financial goals that have moved from 3 figures to 4 figures to 5 figures and all of that. What am I talking about? I am talking about the process. And this is what the framework is. And what he is doing basically is 100% from our framework. Okay? So I'm going to share some of that. Now, for your children between 0 and 5, I'll quickly go through the 10 of them and then we will go. Now, there are more than this in the actual framework, which is where we're going to be. I mean, it's part of what we're going to be using for the training. The framework is part of what we're going to be using in the training for the children, or in the course for the children. And of course, we're going to have experts, like experts in investments and all of that, who will be with us, and we'll be working with your child. At the time your child is done with this, your children between 7 and 6 should have been introduced to some basic level of investment and avenues of investment. Okay, by the time the children are done, they will be robust in their knowledge, okay, of their financial knowledge, basically appropriate for their age. Calm down, relax, parents. These children have the capacity to know so much. We limit them way too much. If your child picks your phone and he knows so much that you don't know in your phone, every time you think that you know more than your children, it simply tells you what? That you are actually limiting these children. So if your child can navigate your phone better than you do, it's just an eye-opener that, hey, you just limit them too much. It's not just the phone. They are that are that capable in many other areas. It's just that you would not stop limiting these children. Okay, some of us have learned not to limit these children. We have learned to allow them dare, allow them explore, and then allow them grow in their knowledge, owning that knowledge and leading the course of their life, knowing that they are the most important people in their own life. So number one, you need to initiate right from when your children are born. You need to initiate the love for reading. Okay, if you're going to raise children who will learn these, children who will understand financial knowledge, children who would understand the habits that will create wealth, children who will understand, right, wealth creation and will have the right value around money, then you need to start this way. You need to start between 0 and 5 by helping your children enjoy and love reading. So when people tell you that the ability to read book is one of the fundamental principles that successful people have, one of the fundamental habits of successful people is the ability to read. Okay, and the ability to read is not something that, oh, okay, you are now a politician, you are now vying for political positions, it's time to start reading books and all of that. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a lot of pretense. They don't read nothing. Okay, it's not something that you'll be like, okay, I'm now in SS2, in SS3 I'm going to write WAEC and IGCSE. I have to start learning to read now. No way. Reading for leisure, reading because you want the knowledge, reading because you enjoy learning, reading because you want to read, not because anyone is pushing you, chasing you, or running around, forcing you to read so that you can have good grades. Reading because you love and you enjoy reading is something that is cultivated right from when the child is 0. Okay, from the day your child is born. In some cases, from when your child is in your womb, you should start initiating and activating the love for reading. It cannot be overemphasized. So you want a child that would understand wealth and will understand the creation of wealth and the value of money. Then teach them to start reading or to enjoy reading from the ages of 0 and 5. Focus 0 to 5. Okay, you have your financial blueprint. You want to create your financial blueprint. The first thing on your financial blueprint as a family is, number one, love for reading. So because I want this child to understand wealth, to understand how to create wealth, to understand how to make, manage, and multiply wealth so that they can impact the world, so that they can be influential, so that they can create wealth that will bless people, that will create jobs, so that their names will be on the lips of man and men, and even when they will sit in the company of kings and in the company of rulers, they will sit in the company of great men, because on their own they are great, that even after they leave the earth, their wealth will continue to create wealth for their estates, for the generation after them. If this is your goal, number one on your list, raise children who love to read. Okay. Number two, you're going to raise children who are problem solvers, children whose cognitive ability is on point. They want to explore, they want to solve problems, they want to create solutions and all of that. How do you do that? You will do that by creating a stimulating environment in your home. Your environment is purposeful. When you walk into your home, when I walk into your home, I should see that this place is a citadel of learning. And I'm not saying that because you will have 2x1 2 all over your wall and all of that. No. When you walk into a room and you see a home that is conscious about learning, you would see things in that home. You will see artwork, you will see quotes, you will see the sayings, or you will see the artwork will suggest to you that this is not just about carrying anything colorful and putting on the wall. Okay, you will see the artwork will suggest something that can lead to conversations, something that will cause you to have conversations. We'll walk into that home and you probably not even see the TV on, because in that home they're conscious that people are supposed to build social relationships. So when you come in, you're welcome to have conversations. In that home, you will come in and you will see that the children are not binging on TV from morning to night. You will see that the children have a structure in the home that allows them to do productive things while they play as children. Don't let your children fool you, or don't let anyone confuse you. Saying that to allow children be children means that you do not have boundaries in your home. Because people think that when you wake up in the morning and you give your children leeway because they are on holiday to binge on TV morning to night, be on one screen after the other, laugh, just do nothing meaningful. Some of us, even in fact, take the holiday to reward our children for going to school. So your children come back from school, especially happens to parents who their children go to boarding school. This is the one that happens to you a lot. So at the end, you jeopardize the child, all in the name of he goes to boarding school and he just does so much in boarding school. It's not like home. So when they come home for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, or 8 weeks, you want to indulge them. So when they come home, what do? They do no chores per se. You just leave it there. There are no chores for them. They just binge on stuff and they just play the whole time, and they just nothing productive, nothing structured, nothing at all. Okay, so last week we were having a conference. Okay, last week we were having a conference. So of course it's my son and I. Okay, we run the mastermind circle together. He is the lead partner. So of course we spent the first week of his holiday. The first 3 days was spent relaxing, gisting, playing board games, board games and all of that at home, watching movies, okay, and all of that. In fact, it was the week of Daddy's birthday, isn't it? Okay, so that was it. So my birthday, rather. All right. So that was it. We're done with that week. And then, of course, we started preparing for the conference. So in preparing for the conference meant that what he had to do a lot of graphics. He had to do some graphics. He had to create timetables. He had to reach out to certain people. He had to learn, certain things that he would need for the conference to go well and all of that. And then, of course, last week, it was all about the conference. He had to be there moderating. He had to deliver a class and all of that. That's 1 week. Conference done. So what? We're playing this week. So this week, the first day we were out, we hung out to go and tell ourselves, well done. So went out, Daddy wasn't in town. So we went out, we hung out, ate out, dined and all of that. The next day he was over at his friend's place. We played the whole time, football and games, video games and all of that. Yesterday he was out with another group of friends, swimming, having a feast and all of that. Today he's playing video games and doing all the things and all of that. That's it. Next week, we are out for educational exploration. No, next week, he's going to do an internship. So next week, he's going off for the whole week, Monday to Friday, to work at a library. So he's going to work at the library for a whole week. I will drop him off. It depends on, he's going to apply today. So it depends on what the work is there. What they say or what conditions they give him. You probably have to resume work, let me say, maybe at 9 and close at 1. So I'll drop him off. He's going to work and volunteer at the library for 3 to 4 hours every day. We'll pick him up in the afternoon. He will come home, still relax, play a game with his friends, cook lunch, all of these. He cooks every day. Okay, cook lunch or, or dinner and all of that. Then the last few days of holiday after the Monday to Friday, he's going to be doing internship. Then on Saturday, we will get back to educational exploration. So we're already making the plans with a group of friends. We're going to go to the pottery, Bari pottery. We're going to pottery. We're going to go to a water. What do you call it? My friend, my friend has the plan. All right, so we're going to go to the pottery. They are going to learn and understand all about pottery and all of that. Create something for themselves and all that. We will go to Shafa, which falls. So we will do all that educational outing. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Now, at the end of this holiday, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of holiday, we would have maximized the holiday and it would have been used effectively every week with a different kind of learning, every week with a deliberate structure. And that's what I am talking about. Okay, so what kind of structure do you have around your children and what have you created? What does the ambience in your home, what does it project? Does it project learning, or is it okay, just come, the television is loud every day? If it's not TV, the people downstairs are watching loud cartoons and whatever. You go upstairs, it's loud Nigerian music. So all of these need to be in consideration when you are raising. It determines, what you are raising your children with and how and all of that. All right, number 3. Okay, I talked about the cognitive ability, problem-solving skills. So you want to introduce things like puzzles in your home. Introduce puzzles. The children in the mastermind are constantly doing one puzzle or the other. Some of the kids in the mastermind just announced today, they just said today in their report that they just bought a 3,000 pieces puzzles. So these children, 12 and 10 and 6 are going to piece a 3,000 pieces puzzle, So that's a lot of problem solving right there. Okay, introduce puzzles, introduce Lego, introduce things that make your children stay in there and solve problems. That's how you build problem-solving skills. Because in solving problems, you don't just get the solution instantly. You have to stay in there. It's tenacity, it's resilience, it's hard work, it's patience, it's all of that. This is how children build problem-solving skills. And this is what they will need as people who create wealth. Creating wealth. Wealth is not going to fall on their lap, no matter how much you live for them. No matter how much you live for them. If you don't set your children up to be able to work and recreate and sustain the wealth that you have created, they will bring it down in 1 decade. No wonder businesses, there are a lot of businesses that we knew of when we're growing up, and then 10, 20, 30 years down the line, they are nowhere. Okay, very, very key that we know this. Okay, you want to place them. Now you want to place value on things. Okay, so the things that your children use. Why are you giving your child that is 12 years old a phone that is 1 million naira? So you give your child a phone that is 1 million naira. What value really do you place on this? What value, how will I put it? Why do we make our children feel that these things, they can do like this and these things can come to them? On what premise is your 12-year-old using a phone that is over 1 million naira? What? Because she's worked for over 1 million naira? Because she's earned over 1 million naira? Or what? We need to learn to place value. And so for your little children, you want to say to them, oh, this is the TV. This is how you use the remote control. When you're done using the remote control, that is the pouch. That's where you replace the remote control, so that your children do not think that they can toss things and throw things and do anyhow they like with things. Very, very key that we teach our children to value things, basically. Let them value things. So you do that right from when your children are 0. So yes, your 1-year-old, you want to say to the child, no, not that one. Okay, pick it. Let's go. I'll show you where to drop it. He goes, and then you teach him where to keep it. So the child keeps it. Let your children learn to value things. Okay, number 5, You want to build on their social skills. Okay, so right from when they're 0 to 5, you want to teach them about their magic words. Let them learn how to use their magic words. And then as they grow older, teach them at the beginning, you know, they can speak more. You begin to teach them how to do a proper exchange. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing? I'm fine, thank you. And you? What would you like me to do for you? What would you like me? Would you like me to? You want to teach your children that. Okay. My daughter, when she was right from when she was about 5 or 6, you would come into the house and she would, because we bothered. Okay, so let me not go there. But you want to teach your children those simple skills. Your friends come in, people come into their house and they're able to get the door and they're like, oh, good morning, Auntie this, or good morning, this, or Mr. This, Miss this. My housekeeper, the children refer to my housekeeper as Miss this, Miss that, Miss that. My housekeeper is just 21, okay? Maybe 21, 22. But my children refer to her as Miss this. They don't just call you by your name. And it's Miss this, it's good to see you. Would you like, basically, good morning, ma'am, you're welcome. My mom isn't here yet. Would you like to come in and sit down and wait for her? They come in, they sit down. Can I get you a glass of water? Something like that. How are you doing? I'm fine, thank you. Oh, good afternoon. This person's dad. How are you doing? I'm fine. Would you like me to go to the classroom and get him since you're here to pick him? Teach your children to be polite, to apply etiquette in, decorum, okay, in at every point in their life. Teach your children these things. Very, very key. Okay, mental alertness. Okay, help your children. Mental alertness is going to come from this mental activity, the puzzles, the mental math, the quick drills that you do at home. Let your children, push problems, okay, to your children and ask them for what they think. Okay, ask them for what they think. Ask them to proffer solutions. All right, create that scenario in your create the scenario in your home, right, that will allow your children think up solutions. Do those things. Allow your children pitch. Put up pitch. If they want something, let them put up a pitch for that thing. You want this, okay, convince me, okay, and then you say to them, do what you do. Go ahead and do a presentation for it and all of that. Now, for some people, when they say this, you roll your eyes. I beg you, just for simple. But hey, what are you doing? You're being intentional about being the one to, the principle of first mention. Okay, your child will walk into an office and your child will sit down in a panel when he's looking for his first job. He's going to sit down in a panel of 5, 6, 10 people, and he's going to be there fidgeting and all of that. Imagine that your child has had to, stay before you and a couple of your friends or just the family, and he's had to pitch for something, or he's had to, and in all of that, they do it. There's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of this and all of that. But what are you doing? You are actually giving them, what do you call it? Some pseudo practice or role play of that thing. Learn to do those things with your children. Learn to ask your children to put up pitches for you. Let them put up pitches for you. Let them write business proposals, for something that they want, and then put that. They want you to invest in their business, or they want someone. Let your children who run businesses at some point, write to their uncles or write to anyone who they want to invest in their business. Let them try something new. Our son is going to write, a proposal for investors to invest in his business when he is ready. So when he's ready, let him do that. So he has the investors' money in his business. And so he knows that it's not just about him. So he's going to have to make profits because, hey, he's going to have to give back by way of shares to these investors. Let your children practice these things in your home first as much as you can. You are teaching them financial education. Remember that. All right. Let your children learn emotional regulation. They are going to have to work with people someday. They are going to create businesses someday. They will have to manage people someday. So regulate your emotions and model this to your children, and then have conversations around this also. Okay. Social network. Teach your children by the time they are between 6 and 10 how to build social network. So let them start with their friends. Teach your children to be deliberate about their friendship and to invest in their friendships. Okay. Let your children have some type of a roster where they keep up with the friends that share the same value with them, okay, people that they respect and they want, I mean, that they have in their life. Let them deliberately, right, invest in their relationship. Teach them how to invest in their relationship. You're doing something that will become very useful as they grow to create wealth. All right. Number one, let them identify, what is this? Their hobbies. Let your children identify, help your children to identify their hobbies. When you identify the things that your children love and your children enjoy, look at those things critically and begin to see how you can turn those hobbies into skills, or what skills you can add to those hobbies to make them become productive ventures. All right. I'm not going to repeat that. We're in a hurry, but hey, you need to hurry as soon as we launch and register your child for this course. Everything I'm saying here, your child is going to learn every one of the things that we're talking about here today. Okay, now help your children to hone the skills that they have. Let us stop raising local champions. If your children are good in a skill, then position yourself, get yourself ready and begin to raise the bar and raise the bar and raise the bar until your children become excellent. They become masters in the skills that they have. All right, very, very key. Help your children to create solutions for the problems around them. Create pseudo problems in your home and have your children create solutions for those things. Very key. In the program, we're going to have the children set 3 goals, 3 financial goals that during the accountability process or program period of 2 weeks, we're going to be there, right? That accountability period is going to be for the children to work towards those goals that they've created, and we'll be there to hold them accountable. I'm going to give you 2 bonus. Introduce your children to chores as early as possible. So your children should do chores as early as they are ready. If your 2-year-old is ready, let them have chores, meaning you will see when the child is ready. When the child is ready, your child is able to achieve something, then turn it into a chore that is a responsibility. Wealthy people are responsible people. Okay, so teach your children to be responsible. People who create wealth must be people that are disciplined, people who have self-control, and people who are responsible. So if the goal is to raise people who would create wealth, then you might as well start teaching them the habits of people who create wealth. And one of them is what? Responsibility. So let your 2-year-old who's going to create wealth massively when he's 20, let him start being responsible at age 2. Help them create projects for each decade of their lives. So let your child have a first decade project. My son's first decade project was to write a book. So he wanted to write a book as his first decade project, and he did. I'm not going to tell you my daughter's first decade project, but by the time she's 10, she would launch that result of that project because it is a conversation that we are having. She's already 7. All right, create that. And then I said, number 13, I said I was giving you 10, but I ended up giving you 13. Number 13, accountability. Make your children understand accountability from day one. Hold your children accountable. Have a system that holds your children accountable. And that's what we do in the Mastermind Circle for Children. We hold children accountable. So if your children enroll in the mastermind, that's you creating an accountability system for them that you would benefit from, they would benefit from, and then you can draw on the strength of that system that we have created. Thank you very much, everyone. I have stayed too long, 13 minutes extra. Sorry that we had to drag this a little longer. Sorry about this. If you got value from the session, please let me see it in the comments, okay, that you got value for the session. If you're catching the replay, let us know that you caught the replay. And of course, if you would like to If you would like to be a part of this, watch out for that. Were you at the children's conference? You were at the children's conference. Did you make it to the parent roundtable session? It was amazing. It was simply mind blowing. Okay, and we have the replay of that session. Parents who were there will tell you. Just go to our Facebook page or go to the group where we have this, and you will see the testimonial in there. All right, it's a session that everybody should watch. Okay, so we have replay available, but it's for a token. You can get it at a token of 5,000 naira right now. Okay, so you want that replay, something you should keep for a long time and continue to go back to and use it as a guide in your parenting. All right, if you want that replay, it's 5,000 naira. We have the information on the you're watching on YouTube, we have the information on the screen. You can use that to order for it. And if you're on Facebook, at the end of this session, just check in the comments. You will see how you can get the replay of that session. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for being here. I can't see any questions. Chidima said they want it quick. Okay, just give them phone and let us be. Exactly. That's what we do with our children a lot of the times. We don't want them to talk or make noise at home, so just give them the phone and rest. Yeah, that's what we do. But is that good for them? Okay, some of us have majored in doing the things that are good for our children as opposed to doing the things that are important for our children. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and have a blessed week ahead. Bye bye. Bye. Bye, everyone. If you're here, YouTube, bye.